In the distant future, Earth had become a forgotten corner of the universe. The once thriving human civilization had fallen into history's archives, its cities abandoned, and its inhabitants scattered across the stars. Earth, once known for its technological innovations and achievements, had become little more than a legend. The human race had spread out across the galaxy, colonizing new worlds. But Earth was no longer their center. It was a place few visited, and even fewer remembered, deep within the Galactic Federation's main command center. A group of scientists worked tirelessly, monitoring signals from the farthest reaches of the galaxy. It was their job to listen to the endless streams of data-beeping codes, mysterious transmissions, and the occasional signal from a faraway world. Most of these signals were from alien species, long-established civilizations that had outgrown the need for diplomacy with humans. But there was always the faint hope that Earth might somehow, against all odds, make its way back into the galactic conversation. One fateful day, a strange signal arrived. It was weak and scrambled, but it was unmistakable. It was human. The signal, a pattern of binary code mixed with an old-fashioned distress call, was sent from an unknown location, far beyond the known reaches of the galaxy. The team of scientists couldn't believe what they were hearing. "Is this a joke?" Dr. Lyra, the lead scientist, whispered in disbelief as she studied the screen. She glanced at her colleagues, who were all staring at the signal. Equally stunned, the distress signal was old, its transmission originating from a time long before humanity had spread out to the stars. It was a message from Earth itself, or at least, it appeared to be. The signal had been buried in the fabric of space for centuries. Only now reaching the advanced monitoring station. "This can't be," muttered Dr. Caden, a seasoned technician. "Earth hasn't been active in over 400 years. Signal contained a simple message: help us. We are the last of humanity. We need your assistance to survive." There was a brief pause, then more data came through. It was a series of numbers, coordinates, and technical specifications, almost like a cry for help. The team immediately began to analyze the transmission. The more they worked on it, the more confused they became. The coordinates led them to an uncharted part of the galaxy. No one had ventured that far into space for centuries, and the area was known to be hazardous, filled with asteroid fields and dangerous cosmic phenomena. But something inside Dr. Lyra's gut told her this was no joke. This was real. "We have to go," she said firmly, her eyes glinting with determination. "We have to investigate. If there's even a chance that Earth's last survivors are out there, we can't ignore it." The Galactic Federation, which had long abandoned any hope of reconnecting with Earth, was skeptical. After all, they had all but forgotten the once vibrant homeworld of humanity. But after much persuasion and the undeniable evidence of the signal's authenticity, the Federation reluctantly agreed to send a team on a daring mission to uncover the truth. Dr. Lyra, her team prepared for the journey, setting course for the unknown coordinates. Their ship, the Odyssey, was equipped with advanced technology, but no one could predict the dangers that lay ahead. As they traveled farther from the known territories, the sense of uncertainty grew. What would they find in the uncharted expanse of space? Could it really be Earth's last survivors, or was it some form of ancient human artifact? As the ship powered through space, the crew couldn't shake off the feeling that they were embarking on something far greater than a simple rescue mission. The silence of space seemed to stretch forever, and the unknown signal gnawed at their minds, urging them onward. By the time they reached the coordinates, they found themselves at the edge of an enormous black hole, something that should have been impossible to approach without devastating consequences. But the signal seemed to be coming from somewhere near the black hole, a phenomenon that defied all logic and reason. The Odyssey hovered on the outskirts, uncertain whether to venture closer. Dr. Lyra ordered the crew to prepare for a scan of the area. They were on the verge of making a breakthrough that could change everything humanity knew about its past, but nothing prepared them for the revelation that awaited them. The scans revealed something that no one had anticipated: a massive, ancient structure hidden within the gravitational pull of the black hole. It was a space station, but it wasn't anything like the ones humans had ever built. It was far older, more advanced, and seemed to be built with an alien technology, but it had human markings. The crew gasped in disbelief as they saw the symbol. Earth's flag, faded but unmistakable. Humanity had built this station, but why had it been left behind? And how had it survived the ravages of time, hidden in the most dangerous part of the galaxy? "We need to board it," Dr. Lyra said quietly, her voice filled with awe. "We have to know what happened." With bated breath, the crew of the Odyssey prepared to make their descent into the unknown. As they landed near the station, the mysteries of the past began to unfold before them. The crew of the Odyssey stood silently as their ship hovered above the ancient station. It looked like something straight out of a forgotten era, massive, with strange geometric shapes that didn't match any known human architecture. The station's outer hull was covered in layers of cosmic dust and debris. But underneath, the structure seemed almost alive, glowing faintly in the darkness of space. It was clear that whatever this place was, it had been abandoned for centuries. Hidden away in the heart of a black hole's gravitational pull, Dr. Lyra, the mission leader, stood at the command deck, her hands trembling slightly as she studied the station on the monitor. "This doesn't make sense," she muttered. Humanity didn't have the technology to build something like this. At least, not in the known records. Her second-in-command, Dr. Caden, looked at her with equal disbelief. "You're telling me this station, with all its alien technology, is from Earth? From humanity?" "I can't explain it yet," Lyra replied, her voice steady despite the confusion swirling in her mind. "But the markings, this is a human-made structure. I'm sure of it." The ship's engineer, Rhea, leaned over the console. "I'm detecting strange energy readings coming from the core of the station. It's like nothing we've ever seen. Whatever this place is, it's still active." The team exchanged uneasy glances. They had no idea what they would find once they boarded the station, but there was no turning back now. With a sense of anticipation and dread, they prepared to enter the station. It was clear that it held secrets that could change everything they knew about humanity's past. As the ship gently landed on the docking platform of the station, the team quickly gathered their equipment. The docking area was eerily quiet, filled only with the faint hum of the station's still-functioning power systems. The station's walls were metallic, but with an organic feel, as if the structure had grown rather than been built. The doors to the interior slid open with a soft hiss, revealing an enormous hallway lined with dim, flickering lights. The air was still, yet there was a strange, unnatural coldness to it, as though time had frozen in this place. "Stay close, everyone," Dr. Lyra instructed, her voice calm but firm. "We have no idea what we're dealing with here. Let's stick to the plan and stay in constant contact." The team moved forward, their footsteps echoing in the hollow silence. As they ventured deeper into the station, they noticed strange symbols etched into the walls. Some appeared to be ancient forms of writing, while others resembled patterns that defied any logic they knew. Lyra made notes, trying to document every detail. She couldn't help but feel a sense of wonder at the alien architecture. It was nothing like anything humans had ever built. Smooth, flowing lines that seemed to bend with the environment, as though the station itself was alive. Suddenly, they came upon a large chamber, the size of a football field. The walls of the room were covered in panels, each one displaying holographic images of distant stars and galaxies. In the center of the room stood an enormous glowing sphere, pulsating with energy. It was connected to the station by thick cables and wires, some of which appeared to be biological, like veins coursing through a living organism. "What is that?" Rhea whispered, her voice filled with awe. "I don't know," Lyra replied, her eyes scanning the sphere. "But it seems to be the heart of the station. We need to get closer." The team carefully approached the sphere, their footsteps slow and cautious. As they drew nearer, the sphere began to hum, its light intensifying. It was as if the station itself was waking up, responding to their presence. Lyra could feel a tingling sensation on her skin, an almost magnetic pull drawing her toward the center of the sphere. "Is it safe?" Caden asked, his voice laced with concern. "I don't know," Lyra admitted, "but I feel like we need to learn more. If this station is somehow tied to humanity's past, we need to understand its purpose." They reached the sphere, and as they did, a voice filled the room. It was soft at first, almost a whisper, but then it grew louder, clearer. The voice was unmistakably human, yet it had a strange, almost mechanical quality to it. "Welcome, travelers," the voice said, echoing through the chamber. "I have waited for you." The team froze, eyes wide with shock. The voice was not coming from a person, but from the sphere itself. Lyra's mind raced, trying to make sense of what she was hearing. Was this a recording? Or was someone still alive within the station? "Who are you?" Lyra called out, her voice barely a whisper. "I am the last of humanity's keepers," the voice replied. "I have been here for millennia, guarding the legacy of Earth and its people." The words sent a chill down Lyra's spine. The last of humanity. But how could that be? Were there survivors, hidden away in this forgotten corner of the galaxy? "Why were you hidden?" Caden asked, his voice tinged with disbelief. "Why are you here?" The voice was silent for a moment before responding. "To protect humanity's legacy. To ensure that Earth's greatest creation would not be lost to time. To guard against the darkness that threatens all life in the galaxy." The crew exchanged confused glances. What was the voice talking about? What was this darkness it mentioned? And who or what was the last keeper of humanity's legacy? "Explain," Lyra demanded, her voice firm despite the fear creeping into her heart. "What do you mean by the last keeper?" The sphere pulsed again, its light brighter now. "I was the final guardian placed here by the humans who foresaw the fall of their civilization. They knew that Earth would one day be abandoned. But they also knew that the knowledge of humanity's greatness and the technology that could save the galaxy must be preserved." Lyra took a step forward, her mind racing. What happened to Earth? Why is it lost? The voice's tone grew solemn. Earth was abandoned due to a catastrophic event. A war with a powerful alien species, one that sought to destroy humanity's future. Though humanity fought valiantly, they were forced to leave their home behind. But Earth's legacy, its knowledge, was hidden in this station, waiting for those worthy enough to find it. The crew fell silent, trying to process the enormity of what they were hearing. Humanity's fall from grace, a war that nearly wiped them out, and a secret station hidden in the galaxy, guarding the last of their greatest inventions. "I knew one day someone would come," the voice continued. "I knew humanity would find a way to return. The time is almost upon us." Ira felt a surge of hope and determination. "We're here to help. We'll bring humanity back. We'll ensure that Earth's legacy is not forgotten." For the first time, the voice sounded almost relieved. "Then the time has come. The legacy of Earth must be passed on to the next generation of explorers. Humanity's hope lies with you." As the voice faded, the sphere's light dimmed slightly, and the room grew quieter. But the team knew one thing for certain now. Their mission was far greater than they had ever imagined. Earth wasn't just a distant memory, it was the key to a greater purpose. And the galaxy was about to learn the true strength of humanity. The crew of the Odyssey stood in stunned silence, processing the revelation they had just uncovered. They had traveled across the galaxy, believing they were merely answering a distress signal, a call for help from some forgotten corner of space. But what they had found was far greater than anything they could have imagined. Earth's legacy, hidden away for millennia, was waiting to be reclaimed. Dr. Lyra took a deep breath, trying to steady her thoughts. She glanced at her crew. They had come here to uncover a mystery, but now they were faced with the responsibility of something much more profound, something that could change the future of humanity and the galaxy itself. "The time has come," she repeated the voice's words to herself. "Humanity's hope lies with us." She turned to her team. "We have to bring this knowledge back. We can't let it be lost again." "Don't even know where to start," Dr. Caden said, his voice filled with uncertainty. "How do we even begin to unlock something like this?" "We start by learning everything we can," Lyra said firmly. "We've already uncovered part of humanity's history, but there's more here. We need to explore every corner of this station, find its secrets, and take what we can back to the Federation." The team began their work, scanning the station for any signs of useful technology or data. They worked tirelessly, combing through the hidden chambers and ancient archives, their tools flashing with information as they accessed long-forgotten records. the station's artificial intelligence. Once a guardian and a teacher, now acted as a guide, assisting them as they sifted through the complex layers of humanity's history. The station's records were astonishing. They revealed the early days of human space exploration, detailing how Earth's scientists and engineers had worked together to create remarkable technologies, many of which the galaxy had never seen. There were plans for terraforming new planets, for building massive space colonies, and for curing diseases that had once plagued humanity. The lost knowledge of Earth was far more advanced than anything the galaxy had ever known. "This is incredible," Rhea said as she studied a holographic display showing detailed maps of long-lost human colonies. "We've only scratched the surface. There's so much more here. Need to take all of this back," Lyra said, her voice filled with resolve. "Humanity has the potential to change the course of the galaxy. This knowledge can help us rebuild, not just on Earth, but across the stars." But even as they uncovered the wealth of information, there was something else lurking within the station, something that had not been seen for centuries. The crew began to notice strange occurrences. The station, which had seemed dormant for so long, was now showing signs of activity. Systems powered up unexpectedly. Lights flickered and then stayed on, casting eerie shadows across the chamber. The hum of the station's energy was growing louder, more pronounced, as if the entire structure was awakening. "What's happening?" Caden asked, his voice tense. "This wasn't part of the plan." "I'm not sure," Lyra replied, scanning the readings. "But it's clear that something's shifting. The station's AI is adjusting." Suddenly the voice, the same one that had welcomed them earlier, echoed through the chamber again. "You have uncovered the legacy, but you have also awakened the final defense. Prepare yourselves." Before anyone could react, the lights in the station went out, plunging them into darkness. The crew scrambled to turn on their emergency flashlights, the beams cutting through the blackness. The atmosphere grew tense as they heard strange mechanical noises echoing from the shadows. "Stay close," Lyra commanded. "We don't know what's happening, but we need to stay together." The air felt thick with anticipation. As they moved cautiously through the darkened hallways, the crew could hear the sound of footsteps behind them. It wasn't just the hum of machinery, it was something else. Something alive. Something waiting. Then, from the shadows ahead, a figure stepped forward. It was humanoid, but its body was made of smooth metallic plates, its eyes glowing with an eerie light. It was one of the station's ancient guardians, a protector designed to ensure the safety of the station's secrets. "We've been programmed to protect the legacy," the figure's mechanical voice said. "Only those who prove worthy may leave with the knowledge of Earth. Prepare for the trial." Lyra's heart raced. "What trial? We didn't come here to fight. We only want to bring humanity's legacy back to the stars." "The trial is not of combat," the Guardian replied. "It is a test of intellect, of wisdom. Only those who understand the true potential of humanity's legacy may take it. If you fail, you will remain here forever." Lyra looked to her crew, their faces a mix of confusion and determination. This was not what they had expected. But they had come so far, there was no turning back now. They had to prove they were worthy. The Guardian led them to a massive central chamber, where a series of holographic panels appeared before them. The panels showed complex puzzles, each one more difficult than the last. The trials were not simple tests of physical strength, but challenges that tested their knowledge, their ability to think critically, and their understanding of humanity's legacy. They were presented with questions about history, science, and the potential for humanity to change the galaxy. They had to use their combined knowledge to solve the puzzles and unlock the station's final secrets. Hours passed as the crew worked together, their minds racing as they tackled each new challenge. There were moments of frustration, moments where they thought they might fail, but they refused to give up. They were the last hope for humanity. They had to succeed. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, they reached the final trial. The holographic panel before them displayed a single question: what is humanity's greatest strength? The crew stood in silence, considering the question. They had faced wars, disasters, and the near extinction of their civilization. But they knew the answer. It's our ability to adapt, Lyra said, her voice filled with conviction. No matter what we face, we find a way to survive. We have the will to keep moving forward, no matter the odds. The holographic panel flashed, and the room brightened. The final defense had been passed. The Guardian stepped forward, nodding. You have proven yourselves worthy, it said. Humanity's legacy is yours to carry. Take it and change the galaxy. The lights flickered back on, and the station systems returned to normal. The AI ceased its warnings, and the holographic images of Earth's past began to display once again. But now, they were no longer hidden. The knowledge of humanity's achievements, its triumphs, and its mistakes was available for all to see. Lyra and her crew stood in awe. They had done it. They had passed the trial, and they now held the key to rebuilding humanity's future. Earth's legacy, forgotten for centuries, would now be shared with the galaxy. We have a long road ahead, Lyra said, turning to her crew with a determined smile. But we're not alone anymore. We have the power to change the galaxy. Humanity will rise again. As they left the station, the crew of the Odyssey knew they were embarking on a new chapter in human history. Their mission had just begun.